welcome to 7 Days to Sight Reading. So, reading notes is hard. It's like learning a whole new language. And if you have ever struggled to read notes with your right hand and read notes in your left hand and put it all together, then number one, you're not alone. But number two, this video is exactly for you. We've broken it up into 7 days. Now, you can enjoy this one day at a time, you can do it all at once, or you can take multiple days with each of the segments. That's completely up to you. The point is that you're going to learn by doing. So instead of getting out a chalkboard and writing down note names and using flashcards and trying to memorize it all, we're gonna learn by playing. You're gonna see music, I'm gonna walk you through, we're gonna do it together, and by the end of the 7 days, you're gonna begin to recognize patterns in music. You'll have instincts for the rhythm. You're gonna be sight reading songs that sound familiar and maybe you even love. So I'm very excited to get started. Let's dive in. All right, day one, let's get started. So in front of you, you're going to see some blank music. I'm just gonna give you some ground rules so that you understand where we're starting, and then we're going to start playing and learning from there. So first things first, we've got a bunch of measures. There are 4 of them to be specific. So they're just these sort of little sections that you're gonna see divided off in this first line of music. At the beginning of the line, you're going to see a treble clef, which means we're gonna play with our right hand. And below that, you're going to see a bass clef, which means we're gonna play with our left hand. And the rest of it, we're gonna learn as we go. The only other thing I wanna point out is that the treble clef and the bass clef, you can think of them as like little houses or areas of their own, and they each have 5 lines and 4 spaces. So just kind of think about that. 5 lines, 4 spaces. So now it's time to begin playing. So now we've got actual notes in front of us. Now, the first notes we see are existing in something called the treble clef, which we've already talked about. And so I just want you to take your right hand and place it on the C in the most middle part of your piano. This is called middle C. And middle C is a note that you just gotta memorize. You gotta make best friends with it, because if we can learn where C is, we can learn where D and E and F and G and all of the rest of them are. So we've got, in our first measure, 4 middle Cs. We're gonna play them with our right hand because they're in the treble clef. So let's just try it. C, 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 C. Now, we have nothing in this treble clef in the next measure except this little square guy, which is a rest. It means do nothing. We have notes in our bass clef now. And so that means we're gonna play with our left hand. And here's the kicker. This is also middle C. They look different because of where they're written, but they're the same note on your keyboard. So take your left hand and play middle C, this time with the left hand, use your thumb, and we're gonna play 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. So for this line of music, we're actually sharing middle C between the hands. It starts with the right hand, C, 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 then left hand, C, 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 now back to right, C, C, and this one looks different. So you're gonna hold this one for 2 counts. You're gonna think in your head, 1, 2, because this guy is a half note. So let's just play that measure together. C, C, 1, 2. Now our left hand gets a turn, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, we just got through our first line of music. Now, let's look at the beginning of the line one more time, and you're gonna notice we've got 4, 4 at the beginning. That's our time signature. And it tells us in each of these measures, we're gonna have 4 beats, just like this. You can clap along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the notes that are colored in are quarter notes, and they get 1. So we've got 4 of those in our first measure. We got 4 of those in our second measure. And then our third measure, we've got 2 quarter notes, so 1, 2, and then the half note, 3, 4. So if we were to count and play this again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, hold, 1, 2, hold. And you've just read your first line of music. All right, let's continue to the next line of music. So here things are starting to move around a little bit. So that first note you see is middle C. It's in the treble clef. We know we're gonna play it with our right hand, but notice how the notes are now moving up. We've got a note that has a line through it, that's C. Then the note right next to it, in the next possible spot, this is D. And then the next possible spot is a line note, and that is an E. So here is where we really get to put in practice letting go of trying to memorize that this one is E and this one is F and this one is C. That'll come in time. Right now, we are simply memorizing that this is C and looking for the pattern. The notes are moving up in steps incrementally right next to each other. So we can memorize that pattern and we can think C, D, E. And notice I held that E, the one that's not colored in, for 2 beats. Let's do it again. C, D, E. Now follow along. The next measure, we play the exact same note. We're gonna play that E again, and this time the pattern is moving down in increments, in steps. We're moving from a line to a space to a line. So we've got stepping up, stepping down. That feels great. Now our left hand, we're gonna move it so that our 5 finger, that's your baby finger, is on the C below middle C. And this is the second note I would like you to try to memorize. There's only gonna be a few of these notes you have to really memorize in this series, and this is one of them. This is called low C. So it's the C below middle C, and you can memorize it because it's in the second space from the bottom of that bass clef. And so if we've got our 5 finger on C here, and we've got our right hand 1 finger on C, we're in C position, ready to play a C scale. But we're reading notes, so we're not gonna do that right now. But what I do want you to notice is the pattern. We've got a C, we're going up to the next possible spot, which we can only assume is a D, and then to the next possible spot, which we can only assume is an E for half note, and then that E repeats, step, bing, down. You got it. Now in the next line, I know this is crazy, but I promised you we'd learn how to play hands together. The notes are doing the exact same thing. So we've got middle C, and we've got low C. And if you look, you scan with your eyes, you can see the notes are stepping up, repeat the note, and step down. So if we can do that together, stepping up, repeat, stepping down. Take a breath. Now our left hand is gonna play and hold this C, and our right hand is gonna play middle C, step up, back to C. And then the final measure, we're on that first line, I'm gonna tell you right now it's an E, and we're gonna play the C again, we're gonna go stepping down. Now, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is a lot, I didn't get it, don't worry. We're gonna play this together right now a couple of times. I'm gonna say the notes out loud with you. We're gonna go very slowly. And by the end of this, you will be recognizing these patterns. You'll be feeling comfortable with the location of C. And this will all, like, you'll have light bulb moments. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm actually reading these notes. So let's go from the beginning. Right hand is gonna be ready. Left hand is gonna be ready to share middle C for the first line. Take a breath. 1, 2, here we go. C, 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 left hand. C, 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 right hand. C, C, half note. C, C, half note. Right hand. Stepping up, stepping down. Your left hand 5 finger ready on low C. Stepping up, same thing. Stepping down. Now we're gonna go together. Stepping up, stepping down. Step up, back to C, and then E, D, C. You did it. One more time together. This time we're saying the note names out loud. Here we go. 1, 2, here we go. C, 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 C. So many C's. C, 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 C. Now it's gonna move. C, D, E, E, D, C. Left hand. C, D, E, E, D, C. Together. C, D, E, E, D, C. And then C, D, C, E, D, C. And if it's really tricky to play that left hand C and hold it, just worry about your right hand for the end of the song for now until you feel a little bit more practiced and confident. All right, so there you go. Now, if you're thinking, I need a little bit more practice, don't worry, we've got you covered because we actually have a practice feature that you can play along with. You can speed up, slow down, you can even download the sheet music, and it's available for you in a link just below this video, completely free. So if you want to take advantage of that, make sure you check out the link below this video, and I'll see you at day 2. Welcome to day 2. So in day 2, we're having some more fun with musical patterns. So let's just dive in. So let's take our right hand. You all know by now that the first note we see is middle C. So it lives below the treble clef staff. It's got a line through it. You're gonna play it here with your right hand 1 finger. Now, just take a look forward. So we're seeing that we've got a C, and then we've got one note exactly just after that. It's gotta be D. And then it steps up again, that's E. This is familiar from yesterday. But then we keep going. We've got a note on the space just after that line of E, so F. And then we're gonna go up one more into the next measure, and we've got a G. And now this G does not have a stem, it doesn't have a line, it's just a circle. This means it's a whole note. It means it takes up the whole measure. So you're just gonna hold it for the full 4 beats because we're still in 4/4. Each measure gets 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Also just wanna take a moment here to establish this note as another landmark note. So if you look at the treble clef and you just kind of like memorize, we've got line 1, we've got line 2. Line 2 from the bottom is G. Just put it in your brains, don't forget it. Because this is gonna help us to orientate ourselves on all the other patterns we see so we can kind of guesstimate our way through the notes. So when you see these first 2 bars, you're looking, oh, the notes are going up and they end on that landmark of G. So if we play that together, C, D, E, F, G, 2, 3, 4. Now, we're gonna do the same thing in our left hand. So looking at the bass clef here in the 3rd measure, we've got a note on the 2nd space up from the bottom. That is C below middle C. 5 finger goes here. And notice we've got space, line, space, line, space. So the notes are moving consecutively. C, up, 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 hold, 2, 3, 4. And this is also a G. So let's say the note names. C, D, E, F, G, 2, 3, 4. You could even think stepping up so high, 2, 3, 4. And then in the next line, we're just gonna play those same exact notes together with both hands at the same time. So try it. C, D, E, F, G, 2, 3, 4. So far, so good. Now in the next measure, you're gonna see nothing in the treble clef, but you're gonna see 2 notes stacked on top of each other in the bass clef. C is the bottom one, and G is the top one. And when they're lined up like that, it just means play them together at the exact same time. And they're both whole notes, so you're gonna hold them for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in the next measure, let's just take a look at the next 2 measures. You're gonna notice how on the right hand, we start on middle C and the notes are stepping up. You can think stepping up so high. And in the left hand, we're playing the shape and we're holding it for 4 beats. We basically hold it for the entirety of both of those measures. So all together, it will sound like stepping up so high, 2, 3, 4. So let's take those first 2 lines and let's sight read them together, nice and slow. Left hand should always be ready to go, so get it in position even though we're beginning with our right. 1, 2, here we go. C, D, E, F, G, 2, 3, 4. C, D, E, F, G, 2, 3, 4. Together, C and C. C, D, E, F, G, 2, 3, 4. Left hand plays and holds these 2, 3, 4 together. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the coordination aspect of that can be really challenging. When it comes to reading notes and playing notes, like both hands at the same time, it's sort of 2 separate issues. One of them is understanding what you're supposed to do. It's a brain thing. And the other thing is actually getting your hands to cooperate and do what your brain already knows it's supposed to do. So in this case, you can trust that looking at this music, you have the information, but it can be the coordination that's actually the struggle. So if that means you need to practice this section a few times before moving on, just take a moment to do that. Otherwise, I want to take us through the home stretch of this little piece of music for today. And this is where we're reversing our patterns. So you'll notice at the beginning of this measure, it's in the treble clef, right hand. We start on line 2, that's our landmark note G. So just lock that down, we're starting on G, and then scan. Notice how the notes are just boop, 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 boop. They're all stepping down. So in my head, I'm thinking stepping down so low. We're starting on G, F, E, D, and there's middle C. It doesn't have a stem this time. That's okay, it's just because it's telling us to hold it for 4 beats. It's a whole note. Now our left hand also is beginning on G. So try to memorize this. When you see a note in the top space of the bass clef, that is G, and it is this G. And if you scan down, your eyes can kind of go, oh yeah, it's taking us and we're all the way going down until we land on the other landmark of C. So it goes stepping down so low, 2, 3, 4. And we can repeat that, stepping down so low, just to get comfortable with it. And then we can take a deep breath and play the whole line in succession and go G, F, E, D, C, 2, 3, 4. G, F, E, D, C, 2, 3, 4. Pretty awesome, right? Now, final line, we're doing a little bit of moving around. So this is where you have to pay extra close attention. This left hand, that shape is familiar. We've got our two left hand landmarks, C and G. We're just gonna play them and hold them. And on our right hand, notice we've got our landmarks, but they're separated. So C, up to our G, and back down to our C for a half note. So we'll do this together. We're gonna play and hold this at the same time that we play this. So boom, the right hand travels up and comes back down. And now we're gonna play G and G. They're doing the same thing, F, E, D, and then we're going to repeat that back to G, F, E, D, and then we're going to play C, and we're going to hold it with this is actually called fifth. C and G, they're 5 apart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. That line is challenging. It's kind of like the bonus challenge line. So again, this might take some practice, but we'll play it through together one more time. Just do the right hand. C, G, C, G, F, E, D. Back to G, F, E, D, C. Left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, F, E, D, G, F, E, D. And there's our fifth. Together. C, G, C, G, F, E, D, G, F, E, D, C, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm really trying to do here is I'm trying to get you to recognize patterns in music. I'm trying to get you to let go of needing to stop and be like, okay, I'm gonna use my acronym and I'm gonna go every good boy and I'm gonna figure out that note. Okay, now what's this next one? We want to let go of that so we can efficiently move through lines of music by sort of moving in shapes and patterns, and it's going to speed up your sight reading process. The reason we're saying the note names out loud is to help reinforce what we're seeing with what the notes are called, with what the pitches are on the keyboard. So it's like this whole sort of holistic learning process. And the more you do this, the more you're going to look at music and just be like, oh, I know what that is. Let's go. So that's really, really exciting. Now, let's play through this whole thing together. Before we go, big breath, both hands ready to go. Just taking a moment to acknowledge the notes are moving up and the right, they're going to the left, scanning through, really feeling good about it. 1, 2, here we go. C, D, E, F, G. 2, 3, 4. C, D, E, F, G. 2, 3, 4. Together. D, E, F, G. 2, 3, 4. Left. 2, 3, 4. Together. D, E, F, G. 2, 3, 4. Now G, F, E, D, C. 2, 3, 4. Left. G, F, E, D, C. 2, 3, 4. Challenge line C, G, C. Stepping down. So back to G, F, E, D, and home base for 4 beats. And you did it. Now, if this is feeling challenging and you're like, my hands aren't cooperating yet, just play one hand at a time until that feels good, then put hands together. And if this takes more than 1 day, spend a couple days here. That's okay. Go at your own pace. There's no rush. This isn't a race. But when you do feel good and you do feel ready, I'll see you in day 3. Woohoo, we're back, day 3. This one's super fun. We're gonna be moving through something called intervals, which is really exciting. So let's just take a moment, look at our music. We're starting with the right hand, our good friend middle C, and we're just moving up a step, down a step, up a step. That's the first measure. So let's just say the notes. C, D, C, D. Nice. Next measure, back to C, but this time we're getting crazy. We're skipping over D and we're going right to E. So what helps me with this is I look at the music and I go, okay, C has a line through it and we're not playing the one that's in the space. So if we're moving in steps, like notes that are right next to each other, it's always gonna be line, space, or space, line. But here we've got a line note, we skip over the space note, which would be D, and we go right to the next line note. And I call that a jump. The technical word is a third, and I'm playing it with my 1 and my 3. So it's C, E, C, E. next measure, back to C, we know that one, but here we've moved up another step from E, and we're on F. So you'll notice the space between C and F is greater. So I've played more than is written here. I apologize, I'm just having fun on this shape, which is called a fourth. And now we're gonna move to the final measure. Landmark notes, my friends, we're up another step to another line and a line. We're way too far apart for this to be this note and this note. We're at C and G, and we've got 2 of those. So let's play the whole line. So we've got C, D, C, D. Now we're gonna go past D up to E, which is the first line in the treble clef, up past E to F, which is the first space in the treble clef, and up past that to G, second line, also a landmark G. Not so bad. Now we're gonna do the same exact thing with our left hand. It's gonna look a little bit different because we're beginning on low C, which is a space in the bass clef, C, up a step to D, down to C, up a step to D. So just kind of getting used to that's a space to a line, a space to a line, space, line, space, line, back to low C, past the line to E. We're now jumping up. We've got 2 space notes. Now we're moving up again from C to F. We've got a space and a line, and now our landmarks of C and G and C and G. You've got it. Now I just want to take a second to talk you through something that I actually didn't figure out until way later in my playing journey, and I wish I had known sooner because it made everything make more sense. When you're looking at the notes on the staff, let's start on low C. So let's start on space 2 of the bass clef. That's this note. And we're just gonna go through the musical alphabet. I wanna carry you through this. We've got C, and we've got D, and then we've got E, and then we've got F, and then we've got G, and then we can keep going. There's a line there, that's A, and then you could put one on top of the line, that's B, and then check it out, we're on middle C. Remember that from day 1? So if we keep going, we've got D, E, F, we're on our landmark note, G, and we could just keep going through the musical alphabet that way. It's all connected. There weren't some crazy rules invented that were different for bass clef and treble clef names. Like, that's not how this works. It's one cohesive consecutive movement from bottom to top, and that's why they're named the way they are. So when you're playing through these intervals, you might have been like, well, okay, well, why is C on a line here in the treble clef and this low C is on a space? Like, why are they different? That's why. So hopefully that helps to put this into perspective for you a little bit. All right, so you've just played through 2 brand new lines of music, and we're gonna continue on. We're actually playing something very similar, but different. So now you're gonna see, we've got C, and the next note beside it is like, they're squished together, they're touching, C and D, and they're played at the same time. Sounds kind of crunchy. I'm gonna play those 2 times. They're half notes, so we could count 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice the bottom note, C, is staying the same, but we're moving from D to E. That's the third. Played together. E is now moving up again. We've got more space between the notes. That's C and F. And then it's up again, C and G. And now our left hand's gonna do the same thing. 5 and 4 on low C and D. 1, 2, 3, 4. C stays, we move up a step to E. That's a third. Up a step to F. That's a fourth. Up a step to G, that's a fifth. And now things get fun for the final line. So let's just look at our left hand first. C, we've got our landmark. We skip D and we're gonna play E, so we've got our third. So we'll play that for 4, 2, 3, 4. C stays, we move up a step to F, 2, 3, 4. Then we're gonna play C, G, they're nice and far apart, G, 1 step down to F, and then that fifth. So let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, E to F, 2, 3, 4, C, G, C, G, down a step to F with your 2 finger, and then C and G. With our right hand, C, we know this, we're comfortable there. We're not playing D, we're skipping. So we've got a line note to a line note. That's a space of a third. C, E, C, E, C. Hard work's over. I'm gonna play C and E together. It's a third. We're gonna step up from E to F. It's our fourth. And we're gonna come back to our third. So all together. And again, if your coordination isn't there yet, don't worry. We're learning to look for these shapes, these distances between the notes. You can do hands separately if you need to. Otherwise, right hand's gonna play C and E. Our left hand, C, G, C, G, and then C and F. 2, 3, 4, and then it sounds like a really lovely ending. This is a challenging line for hand coordination. So maybe take another pass at it. Let's do it together. C, E, C, E, C. 2, 3, 4. Left hand is doing the moving. And then F with C and F here. And there we go. Ta-da. All right, whole thing together. We're gonna count through it. Hands ready. Deep breath. 1, 2, here we go. C, D, C, D, C, E, C, E, C, F, C, F, C, G, C, G. Left hand's turn. C, D, C, D, C, up to E. You think 5 and 3 fingers. C, F, 5 and 2. And then C and G, C, G. Right hand, C and D, C and D, C and E. Or you could think 4th, 4th, and 5th, 5th. Left hand, 1, 2. This is called a second. This is a third. Here's our 4th, 2, 3, 4, and 5th, 2, 3, 4. Get your hands ready. C, E, C, E, C with the 4th in the left. And now our hands switch rolls. And here's our 4th with an F in the left. And 1, 2, 3, 4. You did it. Okay, so again, there's new things here. We're sight reading. We're actually developing hand coordination and independence as we go. So take as much time as you need. You can split this up, especially that last line, to hand separate if you need to. Spend some time here. Remember, you don't have to do this all in one day. If you need a couple days on this, that is absolutely fine. When you're ready, I'll see you at day 4. All right, we're at day 4, and this is really exciting because we're gonna play a song, but I'm not gonna tell you what it is because we're sight reading, so you gotta figure it out. But I'm here to walk you through all the steps. Plus, you already have all the skills for this. So before we start playing, here's a super valuable skill as a sight reader. Take a moment to just, I call it a pre-trip, do a pre-trip on the first line of your music. So if you look, you've got, okay, you got 4, 4, good. Where do my hands start? Well, left hand looks like it's an interval, so we've got those notes that are spaced out and they're landmark notes. Second space from the bottom, that would be C, and this is G. Okay, where does our right hand start? That's not C, but I do know that if I kind of look here, we've got a C as the third note. I could count up C, D, E. Line 1 is E. I'm gonna tell you that, but that would be like a thought process to help you arrive there if you haven't memorized what all of the note names are yet, which I'm assuming you haven't, because like I said, super hard, brand new language. So we've got E here. The pattern is stepping down. Then we come back up. Measure 2 has 3 repeated E's. Then measure 3, we move down a step from the E and we've got 3 repeated D's. And then we've got another one. Okay, we've got E and then we're jumping up to G. So we've got that interval of a third, a line note to a line note. So my brain's like, okay, all right, I see what's going on. And then I scan through with my left hand and I'm like, oh, well, that's a 5th here, and it's another one, and it's another one, and then we just play the top note of it, and then back to C, and then back up. So my brain's already kind of got an idea of what's coming. So now it's just a matter of getting my hands to do what's on the page. So let's just pretend our left hand is taking a little vacation. We'll come back to it in a moment, and we'll figure out our right hand first. So we've got E, and we've got that stepping down pattern, and then it just changes direction and steps back up. So we could go stepping down, and we've got 3 E's here. You probably figured out the song already, I know. So let's do that again. E, D, C, D, E, E, half, note, step down, D, D, half, note, step up, E, and jump up to G. Next line, great news friends, it repeats. Starts on E with our 3 finger, stepping down, there's our front middle C, step up to D, 3 E's, down to D, up a step, down a step, and middle C. Your sight reading. So our left hand is pretty straightforward. We just got some of these. So you could play through that half note, great, big whole note, half note on C, half note on G, together, half note, G, 2, 3, 4, C, G, C. That's your left hand. See, G, C is the ending. So we're gonna go a little slower. We're gonna put this together. If you can say the note names out loud with me, that is ideal because it's gonna help to reinforce what you're doing. Third finger on E, C and G as a fifth in the left, E, D, C, D, E, 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 D, 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 left hand moves down, E, G, and G. Together. And again, if this is too hard right now, just pick one hand and join me with one hand. D, D, E, D, C, G, C. You did it. And it sounded really pretty. So it is difficult to coordinate the hands, especially like, let's look at measure 2. We have to play E, E, and then we play it together again. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. So comment below, name the song, and have fun practicing this. When you are ready, I'll see you at day 5. Welcome to day 5. We are playing something super beautiful today, and there's something new on your music. So look closely. You may notice that instead of it saying 4-4 in the time signature, we've got 3-4. What does this mean? Well, instead of there being 1, 2, 3, 4 beats in a measure, there's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's gonna make your music feel a little different. So just keep in mind, we're counting to 3s. Now, we're starting with our left hand. First note is landmark note, second space from the bottom in the bass clef, low C. So don't be intimidated because I know this music looks like there's a lot going on. It's just patterns. So the first measure, we're playing C, skipping D, jumping up to E, there's a third, and then we've got our landmark note of G. So this is literally going jump, up, high. It's playing a third and a third. Then our right hand comes in, middle C, and look at line, line, line. We're playing jump, up, high in our right hand. Same pattern. So, and if you want to, you can press your pedal down because it'll sound like this. And then it repeats. It's so pretty. It's just a C chord, played broken, one note at a time, in each hand. Lovely. Okay, so that's the first line. Feels good, we've already played a whole line of music. Second line, things change a little bit. So we just need to be careful for the first few moments here, but we've got C, again, this is good. But our next note is not E. It's actually one step up from E. And our next note is not G. It's actually one step up from G, which is A. So this is where you're gonna really have to like stop and think about where your landmark notes are so you can orientate yourself around where you need to play. So we know that this is C, this is a landmark note. We can count up C, next is D, next is E, next is F, and soon, eventually, you're gonna memorize that that distance is a fourth. It's this, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can look at this F and you can go, it's a line note. Oh my gosh, we're skipping the space, which is G, and we're just going to A. It's a third. C, F, A, right hand, any guesses? Same note, C, F, A. Repeat, F, A, C, F, A. Next line, things are gonna change again. So, left hand, we normally start on C, but look at, this note is one below C. It's gonna sound crunchy at first, but I promise it's gonna sound beautiful in a moment. This is familiar, we've played F before, and then landmark note of G. Left hand, same deal. It's not my left hand, I meant to say right hand. I was just taking a check if you're paying attention. C is not the note, but it's one step under C. B, F, G. So let's just, beginning of that line, B, F, G, B, F, G. I'm holding my pedal, B, F, G, B, F, G, and then we can reset our hands. Look at, back to our jump, up, high pattern on C, jump, up, high. Now don't freak out. I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do here. You're like, what? There's a new note? It looks different. It's way up high. That's high C. It's the C above middle C. And for the fun of it, because we want to be fancy today, I want you to take your left hand, cross it up and over, and play it here. So if we back up, C, E, G, C, E, G, up and over, C. You can play it with any finger you like. I'm playing it with my 2 finger. And then back to home base, we're playing C here. And in our left hand, we're playing a nice, I haven't seen this one before. This is gonna be a full C chord. So we've got a C with an E in the middle and a G on the top, but all played together. So it sounds like this. It's so full and rich. Now, this is a note value called a dotted half note. So a half note equals 2. When you put a dot beside it, it adds half of the value of the note it's beside to it, which sounds very complicated when you say out loud. I'm gonna just tell you right now, a dotted half note here means 3 beats. So you could think half note equals 2. Half of 2 is 1, that's what the dot gets. Add it to 2, 2 plus 1 is 3. Ta-da, we have our dotted half note. And in my head, I always think half note dot because that is 3 syllables and it makes it nice and easy for me to count in my head. So before we play this all together, let's just review the shapes. The first line we're playing with C, E, and G. Let's jump up high. The second line we're playing with C, F, and A. So there's a 4th here, and then we're moving up a 3rd to the A. 4th, 3rd, C, F, A. Then we're moving, everybody's kind of shifting around here. This is the tricky one, B, F, and G. So you've got G as a landmark note, and you played F in the measure before, and then we go back to our jump up high or C chord, C, E, G to finish the song. You're welcome to use the pedal, lift it after each line so it doesn't start to sound muddy, but all together, 1, 2, here we go. C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G, C, F, A, C, F, A, another, C, F, A, C, F, A. Now this is a big move, so this will take practice to get accurate. Take a moment here. B, F, G, B, F, G, B, F, G, B, F, G, and C, E, G, C, E, G, up and over C, 2, 3, 2, 3. I feel like a real piano player after playing this one. I don't know, there's something really exciting about taking your hand up and over and playing a crossover. It's pretty fun. And the cool thing is, once you really get this one, you can speed it up. Ta-da! So, take advantage of that practice feature. It's really gonna help you to practice this song. So, take your time, practice, speed it up, slow it down, find a tempo that feels good for you, and I'll see you at day 6. All right, welcome back, day 6. We've come so far. So day 6 is pretty cool. We're gonna be playing something that sounds familiar. You'll probably know the song, but before we do that, we have to learn a new rhythmic value. Because reading notes or sight reading isn't just about knowing what note names to play, it's about understanding the timing of them, how to play them in time. So we've got a whole bunch of C's, my friends. So we're gonna just be practicing this new concept with our right hand, and we've got C, we've got quarter notes, C, C, they all equal 1. Now in the next measure, there's a lot going on. We've got a whole bunch of C's. There's more of them this time, and they're connected by these little stems. These are called eighth notes. So you can play 2 eighth notes in the time that it takes to play 1 quarter note. And this is why we count them as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. So bear with me. If you can clap, that would be really, really good. So try clapping along. We're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's how eighth notes work. So they're fun to play because they're faster, and they equal half of the value of their quarter note counterpart. So 2 eighth notes together equals 1 beat. So if we were to play that line, make it musical, we're back in 4/4 time. Just wanted to point that out. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. All All right, so in the next line, we've got more eighth notes, but they look a little bit different. The stem, or the line that's connecting them together, is longer. So we've got 4 eighth notes, and this is how they're typically shown. So when you have a succession of eighth notes all side by side, there will usually be a stem connecting them. We showed them in little groupings earlier to help make sense of there's 1 beat, there's 2 beats, there's 3 beats, there's 4 beats. So here you have to kind of think, oh, I gotta really count this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Same thing, it just looks a little different. And I want you to get used to seeing them both ways. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And now the notes are moving up. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and those half notes at the end. So let's play this. We'll count out loud together. 1, 2, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 I need to give you a heads up. Those notes are stepping up so high and then stepping down so low. But hopefully you saw that pattern and you were like, oh my gosh, I know what to do. We've talked about this before. Those notes are moving up. I got this. So that's a little crash course on eighth notes. Now on to the fun stuff, because we're gonna play something familiar, one of my favorite songs actually. So let's just start with the left hand, because we're gonna get this ready. We gotta know what we're doing. We're gonna scan through bass clef. We've got landmark C. Maybe you recognize this shape instantly by now and you're like, oh, I know that, that's fifth. And the next measure, we're just hanging on to G. Next measure, we're stepping down 1 from G, that's F. Knowing how to say your alphabet backwards is like really, really important to being a good sight reader. So if you don't know how to say your alphabet backwards, that's something that you should practice. F, E, D, C, B, A, G. Anyways, whole note, G, F, and back to that beautiful fifth on C and G. All right, now let's look at our right hand. So we know the first note is middle C. That one's familiar. But this next note, we did see it make a guest appearance in our last song from yesterday. But this is high C. It's the C above middle C. It's on the 3rd space from the bottom when you're looking at the treble clef. And if you're a fan of acronyms, you can spell the word face from bottom to top to help you identify these note names. But this is just C, low C, middle C. I lied. Middle C, all the way up to high C. They call that an octave. Same note, different places. If you've got teeny hands, don't worry. Hold this for 2 beats, let it go, and tip onto your 5 finger to get to the high C. And we'll count the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here, we've got a note that's 1 step down from high C from where we are, because we're going from space down a step to the line. Okay, and now, just sort of take a moment to look at the patterns here. We've got a line note, we're skipping A, we're jumping, we've got a 3rd. Also, this is your landmark note, friends. We're on G. Now it steps up, back to high C, down to middle C. I'm gonna tell you the name of this note and then we'll work on it a little bit later. This is A, and then landmark note of G. Okay. Whew. So let's do this again. C, 2, up to high C, 3, 4, and now we're gonna go down to B, just down a step. Landmark note to G, A, there's our 8th notes, up to B, and then to high C. So this whole measure 2 starts on B, skips or jumps down to G, steps all the way up to C again, and then back to middle C. We're familiar with this. We've got A, and then landmark note of G. Sound familiar yet? So our left hand's very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, B with G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and C is gonna play with F. 1, 2 and 3 and 4, and G with a 5th in the left hand. It's so pretty. So this is where, we're not kind of in this comfortable 5-note scale zone anymore. We've moved outside of it. And it could be pushing your comfort zone a little bit. And that's a good thing. And this is where it's okay to have that mixture of guesstimating through the notes, using your acronyms. If you ever took music in like band class or you had piano lessons as a child, you may have heard the acronyms. And if you haven't, I'm just going to tell them to you right now so you can use them as a backup plan if you need to. Treble clef, if you spell the word face from the bottom to the top, it's going to tell you the note names, F-A-C-E. Or if you want to use the lines from bottom to top, you could use every good boy deserves French fries, or you could make up any acronym you like, and that's going to help you to identify those names. And in the bass clef, the spaces, the common one I grew up with was all cows eat grass. And then for the lines was good boys deserve French fries, always. Again, you can make up any acronym you like. Those are the ones I was used to. So for me over the years, I initially started trying to use that acronym every time I had to play a note, and that was not efficient. Then I tried to memorize them, but I couldn't. So it didn't matter how many flashcards I saw, I was just like, you put music in front of me and I was lost. So it became a combination of learning certain notes and making them landmark notes, just committing to, I'm gonna know when I see this note, it's gotta be this C. And that's what we've done. We've landmarked C, we've landmarked G in both the treble and the bass clef. And so that's super helpful. Learning to find patterns in music and recognize the distances between notes so that you can go, oh, it's a landmark note, that's a C, and I know that this note's just a jump above it. I didn't have to think, every good. No, I just went, oh, it's a jump above, there's the note. This is what we're trying to do here, is give you a bunch of tools that you can use, and then when you see a piece of music that might be challenging, you can grab from your little tool bucket. Do you put tools in a bucket? Toolkit? And then be able to figure this out. And this is the other big secret about sight reading is, some people just can sit down and sight read, and others have to like slowly figure out the notes, play it a few times, memorize it, nothing wrong with that as long as you're doing it correctly, and then put it all together. So all that to say, we're gonna play this little bit one more time, and then we've got our final day. It's a bit of a bigger song. It will also be familiar, and it'll be a ton of fun. So here we go. Hands ready. I'm gonna prepare for this stretch because I know this is where I'm going. 1, 2, here we go. C, high C. This is gonna be F with a C, A, and then G with a fifth in the left hand. Awesome, you did it. So happy practicing. I will see you in day 7. Congratulations, you made it to day 7. We are playing a full song. What? And there are a lot of notes on the page, but you have all of the skills that you need to be able to do this. So we are going to be working on this one hand at a time. We're gonna start with our right hands. I want you to ignore all of the left hand notes for now. We're gonna figure out where we start, and we're going to just sort of scan the music right now to look for patterns, and then we're gonna just play it, see what happens. So our first note, see if you can beat me to it, is E. So it's the very first line on the treble clef. It's 1, 2, 3, up a third from middle C. And so if you just look, you're like, oh, look at, we got 2 E's, step up, repeat, down, down, down. Oh, there's C, our friend C, and then step up. And so you can kind of just see like the music is just like moving very fluidly up and down. So let's just see if we can play that line together. No stress, just nice and slow. We're gonna start on E. 1, 2, here we go. E, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, E, D, D. Sound familiar? Next line is basically the same. So we're gonna start with E again. E, E, step up, F, G, G, F, E, D, down to C, C, D, E, D, C, C. So they were the same. That's awesome. So once you play the first one, you've got the first 2 lines of the song. All right, line 3 is a little bit different. So let's just take a moment. We've got some crazy rhythms. We see our 8th notes in here. We are starting on a new note. This is 1 step up from C. This is D. So again, if you're looking at that, you're like, I don't know what note it is. Don't stress. This isn't about perfection right now. This is about practice and improving our skills. So if you have to be told that that's D, and then you can take it from there, it's no problem. So we start on D, 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 we're just gonna clap this. E, C, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and rest. So let's play it. Starting on D with our 2 finger, D, D up to E. There's our C. D. Now we're gonna go E, F, E, C. Let's play that measure again because it's a little bit tricky. D, E, F, E, C. Same kind of thing, next measure. D, E, F, E, D, C, D. We've got a break because we're gonna play the G with our left hand later. And then, familiar territory, friends. E, E, F, G. Repeat the G. We're stepping down. We're still stepping down. We've got our friend C here. Step up, step down, and C. You got the right hand. So let's take a look at the left hand. The left hand's a little bit more complicated in this one. So take a breath. You're gonna play this fifth. By now that's feeling really familiar. And then our first note outside of that is this E here. So you could think like a jump down from G or a jump up from C, or you could just know that this is E. Then we're going to step down to C. And here's this little bit of a leap here. So it's all the way up to F. So this is gonna be the most challenging part. So we've got our fifth, we've got E, D, C up to F, down to E, up to F, up to G, and we've got another G. Then we're gonna play that fifth again, back to E, down to C, up to F with our two finger, E, E, F, G, and then we're gonna step down to E. Then things get real simple. Whole measure of G. Whole measure of G. Another whole measure of G. And then we wait for 2 beats. 1, 2. That little rest, it looks like a little top hat. It's called a half rest, and it equals the same amount as a half note. So you just do nothing for 2 beats. Nothing, nothing, half note. Back to your full whole notes here of C and G. And then E, D, C, familiar, up to F, down to E, up, down, E, E. Now you might be thinking, that doesn't sound like anything, Lisa. Well, you're right, doesn't really sound like a song, but when you put it together, it's going to harmonize. It means it's going to create a really beautiful complementary sound. So if you need to take time to learn these parts individually, please take your time to do that. But when you're ready, we can put it together and it will sound like this. 1, 2, here we go. E, F, G. Get this E ready in the left. We're stepping down together and then 2 fingers play at the same time. Isn't that amazing? That's the hardest part. I promise, it's the hardest part of the whole thing. So I just want to talk you through it one more time just to get the feel for it. We're moving together, E, up to G. The second time we play G, we're also playing E in our left hand. Now notice the notes are both moving in the same direction until we get to the end of the measure. And all you have to think about, friends, is just play your 2 finger with each hand. 2 finger, F and D. Now we can move together again. So down, both hands are going down. This one's C and this one's E. Now both hands are moving up. And then it repeats. So get your 3rd finger ready in the left. We're working together, stepping down. 2 fingers together, down, up, down, down, down. It's amazing. So depending on your level, this might be something that you could play instantly. Or if you're still fairly new to the piano, this could feel really hard because it's not just about notes. Here's where we're reading completely different things between the hands. They're harmonizing each other, and it's challenging. So this could take a little bit to master, and that's okay. When you're ready, the next portion of the song is going to sound like this. So we're gonna have G in the left, D in the right, D, E, F, E, C, D, E, F, E, D, C, D, G. Guess what? Home free. We've done this before. Get your 3rd finger ready, stepping down, and 2 fingers work together, down, up, down. You just did it. It's amazing. That's sight reading. So we've gone on quite the journey, but you're here, you're reading the notes, and I hope that you are more confident with the notes that you see on the page now than you were when you started at day 1. All right, so where do you go from here? Well, my friends, we've got an entire level on how to sight read inside the Piano method. And I've got a free 7-day trial, which will give you full access to everything that Piano has to offer. So I would love to help you achieve all of your piano playing goals and dreams. So make sure you check it out, say hello while you're there, and happy practicing.